So doing a refurb of this unit. It's got some stains which we're going to try and get out. It's going to be quite tricky. I'll do our best to get that out. This is the vertical unit, stands up there's shelves, and it's got that stain over there. So we've got to sort these edges out. A couple of little bad areas. I don't have the superfine cyanoacrylate here, unfortunately. I've just got the gel one, which is the thick one, so it doesn't work as well as the thin stuff that just runs in everywhere, but certainly better than nothing. Its main benefit, well, one of its many benefits, is that it's very quick acting. Dries nice and fast. You don't have to wait as you do with other wood fillers. Obviously the runnier one absorbs into the cracks and the sawdust, so you don't have to do this physical mixing. So something like that. Do one more run. Build up that corner. There's this one little area here. Obviously the runnier one runs right under, or gets into all the little cracks, whereas this gel one got its own benefits, but definitely the more watery one is far better for this application. Let's just take that, and then you end up with that kind of edge. And what I do is I just fill those voids. Quickly get it to set. That to set. So get that sign acrylate in everywhere. And those edges are now much better. In fact, it's hard to actually see where it was. Beautiful stuff, this. That's the kit. Get all sorts of different brands. It's basically quick setting super glue. 1,000,001 uses. With this is that it's quite textured, so anything that was in a trough, like these little white specks, need to be taken out with a sharp blade. I don't want to take off too much wood off the top. I like the texture of this. So it's a case of just taking out all the little specks. Mostly done. Basically just got this unit, sanded this unit down, just got this is the worst part on this unit. Obviously a pot was on there for quite a while, So those stains can sometimes sink quite deeply into the wood. So let's have a look what we can do. So this hasn't really been too effective. This, however, I find is incredibly effective. These things are amazing. These bits, these sanding pads, purchased from Galmar. Galmar is an awesome franchise. You get all sorts of hardware and whatnot from Galmar. $60 for this bit. You can get it at Builder's Warehouse if you're wanting to pay $600 for exactly the same thing. But go to Galmar, much better. You've got to be careful. Obviously it's aggressive. Use this is 150 grit, I think. It's aggressive enough. And it's a bit weird. It's intimidating because it feels like it's it wants to gouge into the wood, but what it's actually doing is, as it's spinning, it's throwing air out, causing this thing to suction down, and it actually holds itself pretty flat. Without really gouging into it all that much. Fantastic tool. Obviously got much more control with two hands, so that's how I'm going to carry on now. So sadly that stain was quite deep, so I had to be quite aggressive. I had to take all the texture off. Now there's no texture left here, it's just flat. Whereas on these there's still that nice texture, but doesn't matter too much. Now, with all the machines in the world, at the end of the day, sandpaper does an amazing job as well. Getting into those riffles. Unifies everything. Anyway, there's a vague memory of that line, but I don't want to take any more wood off. Okay, so that's ready for painting. I've got one more tabletop to sand. So that job is done, that's done. Get the other table, do that, and then get them all ready for coating. The next lady in for a shave. Scruffy looking oak table. With some, I don't know what this is, but it didn't go into the wood at all. Might be a water-based that wasn't diluted enough to soak into the wood, or the wood was left a little bit too smooth for it to stick on. I'm also using a water base, but it's a wood dock. I water it down a lot so it soaks in, and I think what I'll do is this, because it is quite a hard wood, finish with not a very smooth bit, probably 100 grits or something. Gives the varnish some more purchase on the surface. I've learned the hard way, if you sand things too smooth, then the sealant, if it's not done properly, doesn't permeate into the fibers, it just stays on the top, and then it can just peel off, as has happened here. The varnish is very sort of cloggy brand new 80 grit did about that much clogged, so sometimes the humble blade does the best job. Takes a lot off. And the rest machine can sort out. Okay, the rest will be the machine. £1 each. I actually think what happened here was a water-based was applied over a polyurethane or a wax-based, because usually the water-based varnishes are not that bad, as long as they get a chance to soak into the wood. And in this case you can see that the water-based is just coming off the top, so peeling off in whole pieces almost, and that's usually because the substrate or whatever it was painted on wasn't perfect. And I think in this case it was an old polyurethane or something, or oil. Might have been an oiled surface, whatever it was, causing a lot of cut to get it off. It's not coming off too badly, could have been worse. Anyway, it does slow things down a bit. And now I finished sanding this, and it's got a fucking horrible wood paint. I don't know if this is oil that's leaked in here. I've tried to sand it out. It's just horrible. It's definitely not oak. Don't think it's oak. It's got very, very oaky aspects to it, but I'm not sure what it is. So yeah, this is, I don't know if you can see there, that's a liquid, it's a resin or something coming out of this wood. It's an oily wood, or that's obviously why the previous coat didn't take. It's a very oily wood. No water-based is going to work on this. This was sanded dry, and you can actually see this stuff leaking out. I've had this before with the table. It's an oily wood, but this might have been somewhere in its past spilt with a lot of oil, because it's literally just erupting out of the top. So I don't actually want to put anything on this table that is until it's actually coming out there. I've had this before with the wood dock, trying to coat a dining room table, and the wood dock didn't take to it, and it turned out that the wood was actually an oily wood. And this is just, I don't know. Anyway, the idea was now that because it's such a patchy, horrible grain on this wood, that the client wants to just paint it white and have like the beach vibe going, similar to the legs. But now seeing this, it is actually bubbling out. You can wipe it off, and then it just starts erupting again with sap or oil. Anyway, that one I can get coating now so long. It's going to be a watered down, water-based, wood dock water-based varnish. This is the wood dock water-based, diluted, 2 parts wood dock, 1 part water, round about there. Makes it very runny. See that? Runny, runny, runny. And the beauty of that is, when you get it going on here, it just soaks in. Soaks right in beautifully. Why do you want it to soak in? Oh, so that it sticks to the fibers, permeates, grips for the first coat anyway, and then that first coat is now bonded to the wood really well, so that the second coat doesn't have to be as diluted, although I do still leave it a bit diluted, because this water base can actually tend to be a little bit thick, almost like a plastic coating, and I prefer it to have a sort of oiled look. Anyway, I'll get this going. Yep, this is like a bad deja vu. I've had this before. Oil is just erupting out of this table. You can see these little bits here. It's actually coming out of the resin of the actual wood itself. Don't know if it's very visible on the camera, but it's clear as day. It's probably the resin of this wood. And it's unlikely that it's actually wet, sticky. There, this is the one that we were filming earlier. Was it that one? Anyway, you can like wipe it away, and then it just gets wet again. So it's no good. Only thing you can do to a table like this is actually oil over it with an oil linseed or something. I don't think even an oil-based varnish will work, or an oil-based paint. I don't have too much experience with this kind of wood though, so... Okay, well, these units are done, so I can get those in. They've had their coats looking all nice and ready to be recommissioned in the lounge. So I'll do that now and then consult with the client about this.